Round one, fight!
The Grim Reaper Gamers are a 25 and over gaming community with members spanning the globe, playing games across all genres, but our roots are in first-person shooters. Bring your thick skin, drink of choice, and grab your controllers. GRG members are on nightly with official community nights every Wednesday. And now, it's time for the ReaperCast. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Grim Reaper Gamers ReaperCast. I'm Johnny Hustler, often imitated, never duplicated by other groups. With me, the usual suspects. In the second chair, my co-host. He is in the middle of a move, it seems like, or just throwing shit in the closet for no reason. We don't know. Anyway, Jammer, how the hell are you? What you playing? What you drinking?
Hey there, John. My wife just likes to keep me busy. How you been?
I've been all right. How about you?
How are your? Good. How are your fries tonight? Were they full?
My fries. I didn't get fries. I quit buying fries.
Because I've been saving because we get on here ahead of time before we start recording, and I watched John chug down a McDonald's soda and chomp down on some burger, and I kept wanting to ask if his fries were full since he was very angry on Twitter at McDonald's one time. And I didn't because I wanted to wait for this. But I'm doing great, but no fries. So you will not buy fries since you got the half fries before?
No, actually, I just needed an extra burger. I was at a national night out cookout.
Meeting.
We had to pull everything because weather was coming through. So I had one burger there, so I had to grab another burger on the way home because I just wasn't quite full yet. And if I'm going to drink a little beer while we're doing this podcast, well, that could get interesting if I don't have anything to eat.
Okay, I just want to make sure you weren't like banning fries at McDonald's after your fight with them on Twitter. Anyway, I'm drinking a Fat Tire, and I've been playing a ton of Dark and Light, which is only like 30% complete, but I'm having a blast. It's basically Ark meets a RPG kind of thing, and I've been pulling around in that. You've been in it a little bit, but Your house is starting to fall apart and look like a crack house, so you may want to sign on and fix that.
I'm the slumlord of Dark and Light right now, so...
Yeah. Farmer has you beat, but yeah. But it's a great game. I'm having a lot of fun with it.
It's a good game. All right. Third chair, the head grumpkin, the man that makes it run, well, outside of Grex. And what can we say? He's the man behind the tomato meter. Jack, how the hell are you? What you drinking? What you playing?
Rex runs the site. Let me forward a domain to him right now. Hold on. I'll be right back.
You've been trying to for ages. He's programmed it so well you can't.
I thought it was a great fry boycott, so no. Anyway, moving on from that. Doing fine. Playing the standard Paladins, Elder Scrolls, and I played a little bit of Destiny Beta. So put some time into that. And as far as what I'm drinking, I am drinking some local beer, Victory Summer Love. And it's staying cold in my brand new Yeti Colster or cooler or whatever the hell it's called. This little koozie thing.
It's called overpriced. That's what it's called.
What? It's called nice and cold and stylish.
They have a Yeti. Don't they have a Yeti ride at Animal Kingdom at Disney World? If we only had like a Disney expert that would know that. I'm pretty sure there's like a Yeti that on a roller coaster.
Something like that.
Yeah. Okay.
We're not sure.
Sure, it's not just a really hairy dude.
I don't have any notes, so
no.
Well, I'm like you mentioned, Jammer. I've been playing a little bit of Dark and Light. Tried to get in some Paladins last night. Drinking the usual, the jalapeno ale, the Devil's Gap from Kincaidor. I actually wanted to try a peanut butter stout, peanut butter porter, not a stout, but I didn't get a chance to run by the store and get it, so tried it at a tasting this weekend that was really good. So, all right, without further ado, let's get over to information about community nights. As usual, check grimreapergamers.com/events for the full calendar, but a couple of little highlights. Wednesday night, as usual, you'll be getting this podcast just before then. It's community night. We'll be out playing some Battlefield 1, some Paladins, probably Dark and Light going on, a little bit of PUBG being played, I'm sure. So And Thursday night, we're going to revive GTA, try to get some jobs going, maybe a heist or two, see how that goes, see if we quit shooting each other long enough or can keep our wanted levels down so that we can actually get something done there. But who knows? But check out GTA Thursday night. All right. Otherwise, as I said, GrimReaperGamers.com/events for the full calendar.
John, what are you planning on doing in GTA that night?
What I'm planning on doing, maybe some gun running, maybe a heist if the gun running falls flat. But I think I want to try the gun running first. We have not tried that yet.
I didn't know if you're doing races or whatever, so that people out there, some people are tired of doing races, or that way they know what you're planning.
No,
That's
we got that gun
3's
running
for.
going, so we got that gun running started up. So I want to, or that DLC. So I want to try that out. All right,
Sounds good.
Man, what's griping at you this week, Jack?
Oh, okay. It's the my rant section.
Yeah.
Currently, right now, what's been pissing me off is loot crates in games. Ones we have to use money to purchase to buy extra stuff, extra gear, skins, mounts, weapons, whatever. Let's use Elder Scrolls for an example. They sell loot crates and they hide all the best looking mounts behind these loot crates, and there's no way to get them unless you spend a lot of money to buy these 5 cards, and hopefully one of those cards will unlock it. And if they don't, you can trade them in for gems at like a fraction of the price. And so far I bought probably 2 rounds of 15 of them, so it's quite a bit of crowns to purchase them. And I've gotten squat. I've gotten absolutely nothing, where I would much rather go and spend the $20 to go buy the particular mount or skin that I want right off the bat. So anything with these loot crates, with these RNGs and stuff, they can all suck it and go to hell. Can't stand it. I wish they wouldn't do it.
I'm totally with you. A loot crate to me is something in game, like, you log in every day for 30 days or 15 days or whatever, and then you get some random shit. But to put cool stuff behind there, and just for you to then take a chance on something is insanity. I mean, for them, they're hoping that you keep buying stuff, hoping to get, it's like when I was a kid, I had all the mini football helmets. I still actually do in my office. And I used to go to Wawa, and I would have, and they were in a plastic bag. You never knew what the fuck you were going to get. Right. And you keep buying them because you want to complete your collection, until eventually I started kind of looking through the plastic to see what team was there. But it's the same thing in theory, where you know what you want. Go ahead and let me have it. Well, even if it's an increased price, maybe yes, you can buy this armor, but it's $1 more for you to pick it rather than chance it with the loot crate or something.
Yeah. So far, I mean, I spent a lot of crowns on this, probably like 4 months worth of saving crowns to purchase all this stuff, and I've gotten squat, where I would just rather spend the $20 and buy exactly the thing I want. Having this gamble behind something you actually have to use money to pay for, it's ridiculous. If this was something in game where you just kind of collected random stuff, you picked up rocks and you turned in like 50 rocks to get something, I'm okay with it. But the fact that when you're spending actual real money to purchase these crates, and then you have maybe a slim chance. I mean, I was looking on Reddit at the drop rates for this stuff, and it's ridiculously low. Mm-hmm. So it's very upsetting, and I won't do it. I bought the last ones. Just, I don't know, because what makes it even worse is they're not releasing the stuff to buy in general. So anything they sell with the subscription, there's no added value. So now I kind of had all this stuff built up, and I felt I should buy it. I did buy it, and yeah, it blows. So screw it. I'm done.
I have a real problem, especially when they attach the random number generator to it. That's when it really pisses me off. I mean, I'm not nuts about them in general, but when you're getting a randomized value, that's where I feel like it's really jacking you around. I hate that. All right. So we've answered that question again. What's bugging Lala? There it is. It's loot crates this week. So let's go to the news.
That's it?
I think so.
He's only got one. That's amazing. He only has one thing that bothers him each week.
Well, I think
I got to save this stuff for other stuff. Yeah. I mean, I got a list.
All right. Let's go into gaming news.
We only have an hour, right? So
yeah, something like that. Yeah, we could run one long one if we just let him go. In In gaming news, Fortnite release. Epic Games' big tower defense shooter, co-op horde mode type of game. I was watching some streams with this, and it was rather interesting. Looked pretty cool. The building aspect looked cool. It's a little more stylized, more cartoonish, but looked like a lot of fun. The people I was watching played looked like they were having a really good time.
No good times in games. Whoever has fun in games.
I've read a lot about this. It's not a game that I'm gonna get. I'm not into that style, but I think people were saying they couldn't decide what this game wanted to be. It does a lot of things well, but overall, it's kind of lacking. You have the base building like Ark. You have the horde mode, tower defense built in. I hear that unless you're playing like co-op, solo is kind of boring. But I don't know. I've seen a few people playing online, and it looks interesting. It just
I mean, Epic Games. Then what was their last one? Bulletstorm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have much interest in it. But me. I don't like any games. I don't play games.
I noticed there's a lot of like purchasable stuff in games, so it seems like it's almost like a free to play game with all the add-ons, all the additional purchases. So it's kind of strange they're charging full price for it and then all the add-ons. So that's kind of another turnoff as well.
Mm-hmm.
I would definitely agree that this is a game that if you have a group of people playing is a lot more fun. I don't see where this would work with randoms or by yourself. Everybody I saw that enjoyed it today was playing with a group. They were not playing alone. When they were playing alone, they seemed a little bit on it. When they got the group together, it sounded like they were having a whole lot more fun.
So you need to play with people?
Yeah, it's a game where you need a group. You need a coordinated group to do well.
Coordinated?
I would
forget it then.
You were on the wrong podcast, buddy.
All right, let's talk about the Destiny beta, Destiny 2 beta. It dropped just it went through last weekend, didn't it? Or no, weekend before last.
Yeah.
It was weekend before last. So we had a handful playing it. Looked like it was, kind of interesting with the 4x4 or 4 versus 4, not 4x4, but I didn't see where the maps looked a lot different. I mean, size-wise were a lot different than what was out for 1.
Yeah, the new Crucible mode instead of 6v6 is now 4 versus 4 players, and the 2 maps they included were basically like a smaller Destiny 1 map. They were about that size. I'm not quite sure why they decided to go 4 versus 4. I guess they want to kind of go back to their Halo roots, but they did. I only played this beta for one night, and I didn't really want to put too much time in because I'm getting the game come September. So I just wanted to kind of check it out, see what's going on, and then move on. I didn't do the strike. They included a strike with this. I didn't do that. So I don't really have too much to say or comment on it. But I did play pretty much. You start off, they put you into the story mode. You kind of got to go through a standard Destiny style story, which was kind of interesting. And then it dumps you out and you can do the PvP or the strike. So we grouped up for GRG and ran PvP missions all night long. And I enjoyed it. It's Destiny. I think it's odd how they are breaking out the weapons. They're a little bit different. Now you have a kinetic weapon, you have an energy-based weapon, and then you have your heavy weapon. So you don't have, like before I would have an assault rifle, a sniper rifle, and an LMG. Now it seems like it's 2 like assault rifles, or an assault rifle and a scout rifle. And the snipers, shotguns, LMGs, rockets are all now heavy. So looks like they got rid of a class of weapons or combined them all. So I don't know how it's going to play. I kind of like my loadout from before, but we'll see.
I did not play the beta because I always say F betas. Actually, I think I played the first Destiny beta, and my problem with that all the time is then you're just replaying content. So, I remember playing the first one, and then it's like you get the game, and I'm like, oh shit, I already did this before. So I'm not a hardcore Destiny guy anyway, but those Bungie boys that love Bungie, they probably played the beta every minute they could possibly play it, because it's the best game ever.
Yeah,
just like Albion Online.
Yeah, I'm sure they did. I'm sure they put like nonstop every single minute in there. I missed the farm as well, the social area. Wasn't able to log on that. That was like, I think they had it open on a Sunday at some weird hour during the day, and that's just I can't game during that time. But yeah, there was as far as the beta, I'm not going to go and burn myself out on it because it really was two maps. The first map was the control style, the domination control style. The other one was Countdown, and that is a classic plant the bomb style game mode. Most games have that. The only issue we had with it was kind of fun, but we noticed when you're attacking, it was a lot easier to attack and plant a bomb because planting a bomb took all of like 2 seconds, but defusing it made it seem like it took a year. It just took forever to defuse a bomb, and if they wipe your team out while you're defusing, they win. So we think that needs a little bit of a tweak. Other than that, we enjoyed the game. We wound up winning, which was exciting. But what else? They have new subclasses as well. So they have a Titan has a Captain America shield, Warlock has some sword, and then of course the Hunter has a electrical staff to whack people and be cool and pick up chicks. So that's what the Hunter does because they're the best.
Did you write that in your notes?
No, that was on Bungie's site. That's actually official verbiage.
Well, I saw you flipping your paper, so I didn't know.
I was a screenshot of Bungie's site saying how cool hunters are.
You took a screen. Wait a minute. We should play the Sesame Street game of one of these three things is not like the other, because there's one person here that prints out pages of notes, and then there's two people here that just make shit up the whole time with no prep work whatsoever. So I don't know who that is.
I don't know who that is either.
But
no
you know what? I'm gonna blow your mind sometime. I'm not gonna have fucking notes, but I'm gonna have a stack of papers, and I'm gonna look like I'm reading on them one cast, and just flip pages over. So it looks like
I'm on my little laptop, tucked in the corner of my kitchen, so I don't have a second monitor to look at the notes. I want to look at your guys' beautiful faces on Skype.
I have one monitor too.
Oh. My little screen's 12-inch screen. Whatever.
Well, when I'm here, I have one. Okay, moving on. Anyway.
Moving on. No one cares.
I did the same thing that Jammer did. I decided to hold off just because, usually that initial content is the first mission, and it just drug on release day because I'd played it already. So I held off. I wasn't sure what I was going to do beforehand, but I decided to hold off just because I don't want to replay stuff. So anyway, PC beta date, what is that, mid-August? That we're looking at for the PC beta?
I think it's mid-August. I don't know if they've locked down that date yet. I have thought about trying it actually on the PC just to see how the specs look on my machine.
I think they released the specs, and I don't know what they are, though.
Well, even with the specs, I still want to run it and see it. So I would consider trying it on my PC.
My question for that is they're going to release it for the PC now, but I mean the game's mostly known as a console game, and that's where the majority of people are going to get it. How big will the PC community be for this, you think?
Well, you have hardcore PC players that aren't ever going to go on a console because that's not that's not the master race, and they know the Destiny goodness they've heard about. I've heard other people that are just PC gamers that are looking forward and happy that Destiny is going to be on PC. I don't know if they give us shit of much that the release date is later because they're so focused in on just PC titles. They don't even give a shit about the consoles. But I'm pretty sure you're going to have a pretty big user base, and because the specs are the FPS I think is going to be running better on a PC. I think you might get some console players that either double dip or just use the PC.
Yeah, well, that's because Bungie's kind of screwing over Microsoft with the Xbox One X. I mean, they could easily run that game at 60 frames per second, but they're locking it down because they don't feel like recoding it. So,
well, they don't feel like telling PlayStation not to send them money.
Well, that's exactly yeah. Microsoft's not too happy about that. I don't blame them.
Oh, and speaking of companies that sponge, that takes us to our next piece of news, because it's the same company, Activision. Modern Warfare Remastered is just getting slaughtered on Steam. The PC community is having none of this, and I personally love it because it's overpriced. They're throwing microtransactions in, and they're just dicking everybody over. So
yeah, I don't blame people for slamming this, and apparently too, like the community size is so low, they can't even get like games kicked off on it. So, I think they're averaging like something like under 1,000 gamers per night in this. I'm looking at the one note I have. It's like 450. It's crazy. So like unless you're playing TDM, you're not getting into a game. So you're buying Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered to play, obviously multiplayer, and you can't even get into a game on the PC because just the community is not there. Add in the fact that the game's $40 and the map packs are $15 for 4 maps. It's like, get the fuck out of here. Like, this game is so old. Yeah. I would have loved to get in this game if they would have gave it to you for $30 with all the maps. I probably would have thought about getting it for the Xbox. I would not spend all that money. It's just not worth it.
Well, shit, and it's something that we've gone back before with like Steam and everything. There are so many options of games to play on a PC. I mean, so many more options than a console to me. So you really have to be smart. And then when you have Steam floating out there with other games that sometimes are on sale for $5-10, you got to watch your price point too. So, it's kind of simple to see why they're struggling there.
Yeah, well, they got greedy, and I don't know. It's just upsetting. So glad to see they're getting slammed for it.
Why would you pay more for a remastered old game than the most popular game on Steam right now, PUBG? Battlegrounds. Why would you pay more for this remaster than a game that has, seen its player base grow huge in the last 4 months?
Makes no sense. I mean,
no, it doesn't.
They were gonna make sales on this just for nostalgia value, and had they priced it accordingly and not got greedy with the map packs and the transactions, I think people would have bought into it. I think if you would have released this game at $20, $30 with map packs and called it a day, just say, here you guys go. We're going to give you this with 20 maps, knock yourselves out. Because they already have the maps. They would have sold a lot. People would have been interested. But now it's like everybody sees it for what it is, a big money grab, and just out of the interest. So screw it. And plus you have the title coming out, a couple months? When's the next Call of Duty World War II that people are kind of interested for? So.
October or November, right?
Yeah,
so that's early November.
So that's right around the corner.
Bad move, and they're paying for it, which is great.
Yeah.
Speaking of other shooters, Battlefield 1 has hit 21 million players. That's a pretty impressive number. From what I saw earlier today, it looks like PS4 is the bigger base than Xbox and PC. Hitting it pretty good, on the peaks. It's hitting 50 to 100,000 players at a time. So depending on the system. So good run for Battlefield 1. We have there's also that Revolution edition.
Yeah, that was just leaked on the Amazon French page, whatever. Battlefield 1 with the season pack, the whole season pack, and they had it listed for €60. So Unattainable isn't here to translate that for us. So I think it's about $70 US. So the one thing that kind of kills me with this is, so now you can buy this game for about $60, $70. They're going to release this version with the season pack, and they still haven't come out with the second DLC pack for premium users currently. So I paid $100 for this game. I pay for the DLC, I pay for these map packs, and I'm still waiting on the next map pack. That second map pack won't be out till September. So they have 21 million players that may have bought the game. I don't know what they have currently playing, and it's just going to drop. As soon as Destiny ships and Call of Duty, they're going to see a huge drop in player base.
I don't understand why they waited so long with why they're dragging out the release schedule compared to past versions. I mean, everything else used to be within a year, maybe 18 months if they expand it out a little bit. But now, like you said, it's going to be almost a year before we see the second map pack.
Yeah, it's unexcusable. I mean, we all thought that was going to be out within a timely basis. I thought by now we'd be hitting the fourth map pack and moving on, but because they're not coming out with another Battlefield title for another year or so, they kind of want to make this stretch out, which I think is just a big mistake. Battlefield 1, while it was nice to go and change like scenery and play in a different environment, it's not as good, or it doesn't hold your attention as long as the past ones. Battlefield 4 still has more things to do, I think, and it is just a better game. I think Battlefield 1 looks better, but there's just a lack of stuff to do. I mean, I've already got every weapon. I've had every weapon for like 2 months after the game came out. So there's nothing really for me to grind for, nothing for me really to play for other than just to play to win. And I think the other issue I think we had with this is the fact that it's not keeping our teams together. So we'd bring in a group of GRG, not be able to stay on the same team. I think a lot of us just lost interest because we couldn't stay on the same team. There wasn't much to do, and there's no new maps. So I don't know. I look at this thing, this BF1 Revolution. It really pisses me off as someone that paid $100 for this game, and I still haven't gotten a second map pack.
I think in a weird sense, you have to give them a little credit that they're trying nowadays. And you always talk about we talk about gamer ADD and switch, and they tried the approach of we're in this game for the long haul, and we want you to be in this game for the long haul. And so we're going to slowly pace this out because there's not going to be another Battlefield in a year like the Call of Duty machine where every year there's something out. So they've tried that, but as you said, you just continue to play the same things, same maps over and over, and you grow tired of it.
Yeah, it gets old real fast, and once these new titles come out in the fall, I mean, you can't compete with new titles with a map pack. So you're not going to keep someone's attention because you got new Battlefield. So I think when September rolls around, Destiny comes out, Call of Duty comes out, all these fall titles comes out, they're going to lose that FPS fan base. They're just going to migrate to a new title, something new, the new flavor of the month, and that's that. It's I don't know. I think it was a big mistake, and regardless, they got their 21 million players, so they won. They got what they wanted.
But they even have their own competition. I mean, Battlefront 2 is coming out in the fall as well. I mean, that's still a DICE title. There's still a lot of players that will cross over to that as well. So they've got that along with a World War II title in direct competition a year later.
Yeah, I don't know if that's really a direct competition for the title. Battlefront 1, I think a lot of people were really looking forward to it, was hoping for to be like the next, the past Battlefront titles, and it clearly wasn't. It was a very casual shooter, and the players that play Battlefield didn't grab a hold of it because it was too arcadey, too casual, and the next Battlefront really needs to step up its game to kind of lock those players in. But even still, I mean, you're bringing that title out. Why not release those map packs? Or get the second one out. I mean, they should have had the second one out months ago. I don't know. Anyway,
we should be looking at least the third. We should either be on the third or looking at the third by now. Yeah. There's no reason not to. So, they blew it. The release schedule, the DLC schedule was not good this time around. It's losing players. All right.
It pisses me off. Just one thing.
Yeah.
What pisses me off is after the Division, I told myself I'm not going to buy fucking season passes, but I got it for this because because I wanted to get that premium queue to get into the servers faster.
Right.
And so I broke my promise to myself, and I wound up buying the stupid season pass, and then it just get burned, and I'm like, I need to stop with the season pass and be done.
Premium was one of the few though that never burned us until this time. This is actually the first time Premium has actually burned the players. Previously, Premium was a great deal. It was still, we've talked about it several times. It's one of the few things we call a good deal in season passes, one that we'd be willing to use. And this time they blew it. It just doesn't.
You blew it.
It's just that they didn't do what they normally did with the Premium Pass, and they messed it up. They had a great thing going, and they've screwed it up to try to drag the game out a little further because they maybe don't consider Battlefront to be a direct competitor, even though it looks like this version Battlefront 2 is going to be less of a casual shooter, more of a standard, more of a regular competitive style shooter.
I hope so.
Along the lines of your Battlefield games.
I hope so, because I mean the game is gorgeous and it sounds great. Battlefront. I just hope it plays great.
Well, I think this time we're going to see a little bit of difference, and it's going to become more of a direct competitor. But again, they're still going to be trying to drag out DLC, and they're not going to have the player base for those last pieces.
Mm-hmm.
Well, at least with Battlefront, you'll have free DLC.
Yeah. Movie news. Get off in movie news, kind of a funny bit of movie news.
Well, Star Wars. There you go.
Well, yeah, we inadvertently went from Star Wars to some movie news, so this will work. Justice League is coming out in November, mid-November. The third movie of the, kind of the where they started gathering together, kind of the third in line there, and then they've had Wonder Woman and Suicide Squad off to the side. They've had this trilogy, Man of Steel, followed by Batman vs. Superman, now Justice League. They've run into a little bit of a problem. Zack Snyder had to leave for personal reasons, very tragic reasons. Joss Whedon has been taking over. They've had to do some reshoots. I've heard extensive reshoots, double, 8 figures as far as cost for the reshoots. And as a result, they've got to do a little bit of digital wizardry with Henry Cavill, who plays Superman in the Justice League movie and who played in Man of Steel and Batman vs. Superman. Because he is currently filming the latest Mission Impossible, his character has a mustache, and he's having to jump into these reshoots. Paramount will not let him shave the mustache as part of the contract. So the digital wizardry of Hollywood is going to be brought into play here to remove his mustache. So instead of the Magnum PI look for Superman, we're going to have
that might have worked. I'd probably, if he would grow a mullet and get the mustache, drive a Ferrari, I'd probably like him. I think he should have done what the old Joker did from the original Batman series.
Oh, Sid Caesar? Or no, Caesar
Romero.
Caesar Romero. Thank you.
He refused to shave his mustache.
No, he wouldn't. It was a trademark.
No, and that was great. They just colored it white.
Yep, colored it white. You had a mustache underneath all the paint.
On the day. Hey, it worked back then. Why not now?
Yeah.
Problem solved.
Yeah, just it's going to be interesting. Hopefully they have plenty of budget for the
mustache so John,
removal. Yes.
You're Mr. Superman. You're wearing a Superman shirt even this evening. So what is your confidence level? For one, here's a couple things. Before I even get to that, they pushed every trailer in the world to not have Superman even shown because he's, quote, dead.
He's dead.
Right?
Right, yeah, he's dead.
And now they come out with news that they're removing his mustache for the movie.
Spoiler alert.
Right? I don't know if he's been in one trailer.
No, he hasn't. They alluded, supposedly they've alluded to him at the end of the latest trailer when Alfred says, he knew you'd come. I hope you're not too late. And he stresses hope, so everybody's thinking he's talking to Superman at that point because his drink does the little vibrate thing like it happens at the end of Batman vs. Superman.
But they have not shown him.
No, they have not. And I actually like this. I like what they're doing there. Now, I have had a ton of misgivings with Zack Snyder's movies, but I think saving the big reveal... let's face it. Everybody knows he's coming back. We've seen the mustache.
That's the big fucking reveal. Is it's him and the goddamn mustache. The pictures are all over the internet. For Christ's sake!
If they don't reveal that mustache with John Williams' fanfare, I'm gonna be pissed. Now, I think I am a little bit. Well, let's face it. I've had plenty of misgivings with Zack Snyder's movies. I just haven't been impressed. Man of Steel was all right. Batman vs. Superman took it in a turn that a lot of people didn't like.
Wait. Me and Jammer liked it.
Yes.
You liked that shitty comic too.
That scene when Batman's kicking the shit out of Superman, that scene's awesome.
Yeah, let's put it this way.
I watch it over and over.
That's such a solid movie that the animated Justice League series made fun of the whole thinking behind Batman's trap for Superman.
The only scene in any Superman movie better than that is Superman drunk at the bar.
Oh my God. Your
so
hatred's
what's your confidence level now? What is your confidence level on Justice League? I will give DC
low.
credit. Wonder Woman was good.
Yes, I have not seen Wonder Woman yet. I have heard it is great. Gal Gadot did say at Comic-Con that Superman fans are going to be very happy with Justice League.
Of course she is. She's going to promote the fucking movie.
I know.
You guys will hate it. Don't watch this movie.
I have a very low confidence level. Yes, Joss Whedon has a better track record, but Joss Whedon only has reshoots. unless they've done a huge rewrite that we don't know about. I don't know. Now, Jeff Johns is involved. They're trying to make it a more optimistic tone. I don't know that Snyder really has it in him. Has anything he's done screamed optimistic?
No.
So
they just need to wrap up superhero movies and call it a day. We've seen enough. Move on.
I mean, I like superhero movies, but this, I don't know. And let's face it, DC hangs in the balance on this. DC movies hangs in the balance.
Those trailers, I get concerned that it's just a bunch of crowded shit like the other movies where it's just tons of shit happening. Cyborg. I mean, it just looks. I mean, I have more faith because I liked Wonder Woman, but I was also staring at her half the movie.
And guess who had very little to do with Wonder Woman?
Well, yeah, I know. Yeah,
it was the first movie that Snyder had nothing to do with, really. I mean, he was an executive producer, but he didn't do shit. And it was good. Hello? Anyway. No, my confidence level's low. I hope to be surprised, but I'm not going in expecting much.
I still just love, I mean, I will never, I'm surprised we haven't given you more of a hard time about this, because they went in with the whole marketing plan because they think trailers out and everything, and they're like, okay, Superman died in the last movie. Sorry, spoilers if you didn't see that awful fucking movie.
We're doing you a favor.
Superman died at the end of the movie, so he's not alive. So when we show these trailers, it's gonna have no Superman in it, and they do all that marketing thing and all that, and then bam, on the fucking internet, there's Henry Cavill with his fucking mustache and beard and.
Yeah, my favorite thing about that he was in New York, Times Square, and he was talking about like how people would never recognize Clark Kent versus Superman. They would, and he was out in Times Square wearing a Superman shirt, just walking around, and no one had any idea who he was. And right behind him, there's Superman, movie posters, and on Times Square, huge thing. And he's standing there talking. No one had any clue. It just made me laugh. But anyway.
Yeah.
Lois Lane almost caught on one time, down at the Orange Juice Shack or getting hot dogs at Niagara Falls. That's the closest anybody's ever come to catching on.
Here's the deal also. Superman's return was the worst kept secret of this movie because they had
not in the trailers.
Maybe not in the trailers, but Zack Snyder put it on Instagram like day 3 of shooting. Henry Cavill in his Superman jersey or uniform.
No one believed he would stay dead.
No, I mean you knew that he was good. You knew he was doing some offshoot of the death of Superman. They put Doomsday in, and this is where we go to Jammer's reference of how they cram too much into these damn movies. They're trying to cram Frank Miller and the debut of Wonder Woman and the death of Superman and Doomsday and all this shit into one movie, along with the shittiest Lex Luthor we've ever seen.
Oh my God, it was terrible.
Oh God,
Jesse that was cringeworthy.
Oh my God,
that was cringeworthy.
He wouldn't have been a good Riddler with the way he played it, much less Lex Luthor. But anyway,
he would have been a good extra on the side of the film.
My kid,
it was terrible.
My 14-year-old, who's as big a Superman fan as I am, couldn't make it through the whole movie. That's how bad it was.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. Okay. We spent too much on Superman.
All right. We spent too much on the Snyder movies. Yeah. Nobody cares about some fantasy of Batman beating Superman. But Star Trek news. 35th anniversary of Wrath of Khan?
Yes, it was 82.
Thank you. 35th anniversary Wrath of Khan. They are going to re-release it to theaters. The classic with the cast of Star Trek, including William Shatner and Ricardo Montalban as the great Khan.
Really?
Yes. What?
Oh, man, I'm disappointed. I thought it was Into Darkness.
Jesus. No, it's not the cheap remake. It is
it's a real good one, you mean?
It's the original Wrath of Khan.
I thought Star Trek Beyond was the best one.
Beyond is awesome. I am so in to going to see this in the theater.
I am too. I mean, what can you not like about this? I mean,
love that movie.
Shatner and Montalban chewing scenery, Montalban's chest plate that was rich Corinthian leather. I think that was the origination of the rich Corinthian leather he always talked about for the cars.
I will watch that movie anytime, and especially when Reliant is first coming in and they have no fucking clue what's going on. And that whole battle scene, because Star Trek used to have small battles and shit, but, it never really had big battles. And that was awesome, because they just Kirk got his ass kicked.
Yeah.
So I love that.
Yeah, this is usually my favorite Star Trek movie out of them all. Even with the Next Generation stuff, I like Next Generation stuff better, but the movies, Wrath of Khan, easily the best. I remember as a kid watching this, and they put those little like slugs in the helmet, and they went in the Chekhov's ears. Like, oh my god, I'm like freaking out.
I was
dying.
too. Everybody freaked out. I don't care how old you were. You freaked out at that. I mean, and here's the thing. I think Kahn was the first villain that you felt was actually a match for Captain Kirk. You know, Kirk always had the upper hand. Plain and simple, always had the upper hand.
It's a great movie. This is
what episode is he in on this series, on the original series? Oh, God.
Yes, I don't know what episode, but I know what you're talking about.
Space Seed, where they find the Botany Bay. Botany Bay? Oh, no!
Nerd.
Yeah, well, that still wasn't as good as Wrath of Khan. Yeah, great movie. Going to be. I hope it comes into this area. I'm going to go see it if it does. Just a great film. Awesome. All right, Elder Scrolls Online, back to gaming news. Horns of Reach expansion is due this month. So we have yet another expansion. We're talking about how Battlefield's dropped the ball in expansions. Elder Scrolls Online, picking it up.
Yeah, they're not skipping a beat here. We just had Morrowind come out, and now you got another expansion. This isn't as big as a Morrowind upgrade, so this will be the cost of this is 1,500 crowns, or roughly like $15. I think that comes out to be, or it's included with your Elder Scrolls Plus subscription. So it's coming out the 14th for PC and 29th for consoles, and it seems like they had a good amount of content. They got 2 new dungeons, a new PvP map. They even have a new PvP game mode called Chaos Ball, where you have to grab the ball. I guess it's like Oddball from Halo. You go grab the ball, and you got to hold on to it. You score. The longer you hold the ball, you score points. And while you hold the ball, it causes a debuff to your armor and your healing. But also, there's some new gear, and there's even some new homes and furnishings. Shit, I don't care about.
You still not bought a home, right?
I'm homeless. I am homeless. And you know what's pissing me off is because everywhere you go, you have like these little quest markers. You go pick it up, and there's the quest to get your free home. Like, fuck you, I don't want it. I don't want the home. Stick it up your ass. There's no reason for me to
It's pointless. In games like Ark and Dark and Light and all that shit, there's a point to it. You're building shelter, and you're building. That's just fucking decoration. It's nothing.
I just have no value for it. I guess some people like it, and it's big for people. Whatever, that floats their boat, but it's nothing I'm wasting any second of time on. But I'm kind of excited for this. I mean, I still play this game a lot. I love it. They voice act all the quests. The quests are really well thought out and fun to run through. They're not your kill 10 of this, collect 15 of that. So I can't wait. I'll be getting it obviously because I'm an ESO Plus subscriber.
You're a VIP.
I wish.
You're not?
I don't know.
You run a very hugely successful gaming website. I'd imagine you're friends with like movie directors and big shot gamer people.
Well,
Michael Pachter and stuff.
I did tweet out to Kevin Smith. I'm just waiting to hear back.
Okay. All right. That's good to know.
He's busy though. I mean,
you gonna get him on the show or what?
Maybe.
All right. Speaking of games you're a big shot in, Guild Wars 2 has another expansion coming out. September 22nd, 2017, the Path of Fire expansion for Guild Wars 2. How long has it been since the last expansion was out?
What, a year or two?
Yeah, God, maybe 2 years ago? I don't know.
I want to say around 2 years, but I can't remember.
I think it's 2 years ago.
Probably 2 years ago, and these are major expansions. They do come out with what they call living stories, which are like minor little story modes and different events to do, even throw in some different zones. So they'll create like a new zone and the whole thing. They'll take maybe like 15, 20 hours to run through for PvE, and then this whole grinding aspect. But this is a major expansion. So this is kind of big news for Guild Wars. This is a game I'm retired from, but holy crap did I put hours into this one. For the new expansion, they got 5 new world zones coming in, and they're going to be adding mounts, which is something brand new to Guild Wars. They never had mounts before.
So, like a big bunny rabbit.
A big bunny rabbit, different things. Well, Guild Wars has some odd things. And the interesting thing about the mounts are that they have specific abilities to help you get around in the environments where you get that mount. And then you got to level up your mount. So there's different You can make them, the bunny jumps to, I guess, different cliffs or something like that. And you have to level that up as you level. So it gives you something to do, stuff to progress. Then they're going to be adding some new specializations. So I guess characters are going to be able to use different weapons and do some new abilities. And the price isn't bad. I mean, it's $30. So it's going to give you a shit ton of content. 5 zones. I mean, huge. These zones are huge. All these different things to do. And yeah, $29. You can't beat it. I mean, that's easy. I'd buy it in a second if I was still playing.
It's a 5-year-old game. I just looked it up. August 28th, 2012 is when it released.
Mm-hmm. 5-year-old game, along. But these expansions really are worth the money. Don't mean to sound like an ad for this game, but one thing I have noticed about it is you definitely get a good amount of content for these expansions. Yeah, they take longer. They're not, I mean, $30 is pretty good, but pretty good price, but still, decent amount of money for an expansion. But you get a lot. I mean, they tend to throw a lot in there, and considering the base game had a ton of content, and then the first expansion had a bunch of content. Now this one has a lot. The people who play, you can see why it has a good player base.
I'm downloading now.
Oh, there we go.
Me and Ghostwalkers. They
drug them away from Albion Online.
Yeah, they spread it. They spread it out too. It's not like a game, and they're pushing out $30 expansions like every 3 months, where you feel like, holy shit, I keep having to buy shit. That they're pacing it out.
No, and what they have, like I said, they have the living story stuff, which is like these minor episodes. So that content gets pushed out regularly, and that's all free. So once you buy the game and you're playing it, as long as you log in.
As long as you're logging in. Yeah.
But you have to log in during that season event or like at a certain amount of time, and you get it for free. So all you have to do is just log in and done. You have it forever. I don't even think they're that much to buy the past season, the living stories. So they keep updating it. There's a lot of events. It's a great game, and it's if you're looking for an MMO to play, and there's no subscription to this whatsoever. Yep. So you buy the game flat out, and you're done. You're good to go. And I mean, there's some convenience items you'll probably want to buy from the cash shop, but that's other than that, you're pretty much good to go. I mean, I still have I must have thousands of hours in this game.
Yeah, I just don't have time. I wouldn't mind going back to it, but I'd play it again. I just don't right now. Dark and Light's kind of got me set.
No, I hear you.
So
yeah, I agree there. That's a
I got yeah. So anyway,
okay, that wraps up news, man. That was a long news.
Yeah,
news segment for us this time around. We don't often have that, but I guess we're getting close to fall again, so news will probably pick up. All right, let's talk about our main topic. We're going to discuss we're in kind of the tail end of summer, I guess, from vacation standpoints and everything. We're about a month away from the unofficial end of summer, which is your Labor Day weekend. I guess that's the unofficial one, kind of where everybody gets their last vacations out and all that. What we're going to ask tonight is, does summer change gaming patterns for most people?
Yes.
I guess,
okay.
I guess I would say yes. I know there's a lot of cases where I don't game as much because I got camps or baseball games or vacation with family versus the fall when I'm at home most of the time.
See, for me, I'm probably kind of the opposite because of my line of work. I actually have more availability during the summer than I do during the fall, winter, and spring. So, it depends. I mean, if I go on vacation and stuff, it changes everything. But I don't think I'm as typical as other people with that, just because of the line of work I'm in, where I have a lighter load during the summertime, so I have more time available to kind of, I'm not coaching sports. I'm not doing any of that stuff that takes up a lot of my time, extra time, where I get done by the end of the day and I just want to crash. I don't have that during the summer.
Yeah, it doesn't really change unless I'm on vacation. My gaming hours are pretty much the same. I'm on pretty much every night, 9 to 11, 12, whatever. So for me, I don't see any difference. I do think there is somewhat of a slowdown. I've noticed it on my friends list that most people are playing. I guess they're getting bored of the games they're currently playing, and so things start deviating. So whether I'll look at like the friends list, I'll see people all over the place. They'll play these odd games, or maybe they're playing a game they picked up on sale, or just Netflix and Hulu right now. I mean, a lot of people are just burned out on the current crop and are waiting for the next games to come out, Destiny and Call of Duty and whatnot. That's what I'm seeing.
Yeah, well, and John and I think when we were getting ready before the show, and you weren't at your spot there, Lala, we were. My question too was that the other part of it is what compelling games are out there right now that everybody wants to play, and that's typical of the summer because typically there aren't major releases during the summer. There's generally a one or two sometimes in the spring, and then 8,000 of them, in October and November. So a lot of times the developers themselves, and when they release games, not as much maybe on PC, but they don't push anything out in the summertime, so it doesn't give you any new content and compelling things to play.
No, and this is what's killing me right now in GRG is trying to organize people and get events going and just get people to group up. And a lot of, like we're saying, like a lot of people burned out. It's been very, very difficult trying to just get events off. We ran an event the other night, and it was kind of vacant, and I was kind of surprised. But I'm ready for the fall games. I don't know. This is killing me.
John's going to hedge soon for me here.
Well, I'm not going to hedge at all. Summer's been brutal. I mean, right now, live's acting up a little bit, so I can't get a complete count. But before we were recording tonight, I was looking at my friends list, and I'm seeing all-time lows in people playing, especially in the over 100 friends era of the Xbox One. I had I had 80 people on, and half of them were watching TV or Netflix or Hulu or HBO.
And that's my point I'm going to make now, is one thing to keep in mind is if you're looking back to like traditionally with 360 and everything, 360 wasn't built like a media center like the Xbox, where TV's going through it and everything. So when people were watching TV and all, you didn't necessarily see them online because they were watching television. They didn't have their Xbox 360 on.
Right.
On top of that, streaming services, more people have ditched the box. So streaming services, there's more people now watching content on Netflix and Hulu in those areas than there were, 5 years ago, 3 to 5 years ago. So that's increased. So those are two areas there where things are a little bit different comparatively to when you used to look at your friends list. You didn't see, that I'm watching TV. So that changed it a little bit.
Also, is this really an issue for the PC side of the world? I mean, you had games come out like Battlegrounds. You have everybody's playing that Dark and Light or whatever.
It's PC's a little bit different of an animal because games will continue to release. Major titles are still kind of done. The AAA are still done in the same type of cycle. But what we're still dealing with on the PC side, though, is a lot of early access stuff where people are throwing content out there. I told John earlier today, it's funny. When I get on Xbox, I look at my friends list and see who's playing. On PC, I look at our Discord to see, who's playing what. But I don't necessarily look at my Steam friends list the same way I look at my Xbox friend list. I don't look at that often. Partly, I think, just because in the past, I typically played PC and I was on my own. So that changes the dynamic a little bit. But yeah, there's more content out there for PC, but you're also looking at there's a lot more content released on PC than on a console.
A lot of that stuff seems to be a bit of a mess, especially that early access stuff. Like that Conan was hot for like 5 minutes and then dropped like real fast. So, I mean, having all that extra content, you got to wade through what you have and hopefully find something decent. Yeah, but it looks like you probably have an easier time as a PC gamer during the summer.
Yeah, we had Jumping Wangs in Conan, though, but that was during the winter, actually.
Yeah.
When that came out. So we had a lot of small wangs because it was too cold outside.
Shrinkage.
Yeah.
Shrinkage.
Yeah.
I was in the pool.
I swear.
And there is a lot more. The independent or the smaller studios will release and fill those gaps a lot better on PC than they do on the consoles. The consoles have paid a lot of lip service to indies and small developers, and it's been a lot of lip service. It has not produced like they said it would at the beginning of the generation and even leading up to this generation. In that case, yeah, the PC side has an advantage because you see a PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds coming out, or a Dark and Light, where you wouldn't see that necessarily in the console release cycle as often anyway. But, so yeah, while you have to wade through a lot, word of mouth helps as far as that goes too.
But on the other side of that, and part of it is our community doesn't look for those smaller games necessarily on the console. It's not a game that Lala would like, but that Edith Finch game, which got really well reviewed, was on PC. It just was released on console. It's an excellent game, from what I've read. But I think console people are more into the bigger titles, and they kind of look to the other way. So like Edith Finch, I've read all these great reviews about this game. Now I haven't played it, and it came to consoles, and it just did recently. It's supposed to be an excellent game, but you're not going to get people flocking to it. PC players are more willing to take the risks on those games.
Well, I think another part of that. Know. Go ahead. Well, go ahead with what you were going to say, because I can expand on that.
Yeah, the console users just don't know. They're not aware of these games. So you have these indie games coming out, and where do you find it? Where does it come up? To let you know, unless you're actively looking for indie games. I mean, even look at Paladins. I mean, you can get that game for free to try out for free.
Well, and I think that part of that is because of the storefronts. Steam is very willing to put these indies and these smaller devs front and center. Xbox and PlayStation kind of tuck them off to the side of their stores.
They're buried.
You don't see it on the big banner. Steam, you'll see it right there, front and center. When you go to the Steam store for the first time, you'll see that game. You'll see Dark and Light. You'll see PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. You'll see a mod for Arma 3. On Xbox, they're tucked. ID at Xbox. Where is that now? I mean, that's like
ID at Xbox. That doesn't exist anymore, the ID at Xbox, doesn't it?
Well, I think they've changed the name or something. They try to revive it and kill it, and revive it and kill it, and and now it's tucked away in the bottom left corner of the store.
Yeah, you're looking at for the AAA titles, people kind of burned out on most of the stuff in the fall. By spring, so now summer comes around, we're just hurting on console, and it's painful. I muscle through a lot of this stuff and just try to rally the troops in GRG and get people together. But sometimes it's like pulling teeth. People just are done. They moved on, and it's rough. I can't wait until the summer's over and we're back in the fall and things pick up again.
Yeah, they need some. They need something to really juice the console gamers and get them going.
I blame meetings.
Yes.
I got tons of meetings. They suck.
Fucking busiest place in the world, Nebraska. Never would have guessed it.
Yeah.
So, John, hedge.
I'm not going to hedge. Summer's brutal. This summer's been more brutal than some. Or than most.
You're a PC gamer, so you have content.
Well, I have content, but when I want to, if I want to, I just bought an Elite controller and I haven't been able to use it because nobody's on.
I think this
that's why.
This summer's tougher is because there really hasn't been that many quality MP games released for consoles. Have
Call of Duty taking a shit this past year did not help.
No,
I mean
that hurt hard.
It lost everybody. I mean, it just lost everybody on my friends list. We used to be a Call of Duty community, and we have one person left that still plays it. I don't even think Hawk plays it anymore. I think everyone's just moved on. And
Beers gets on for about 10 minutes, finds out nobody's playing, and joins whatever everybody else is playing.
Yeah.
Destiny. And he's a hardcore COD player.
Destiny's wrapping up. That's over.
Yeah, Destiny. I mean, it's run its course. It's been a good game. It's gotten a lot of mileage. It's just that it's 2 years, 2 years out, and it's been played. It's just
Battlefield 1. We talked about Battlefield 1.
Yeah, the delete
that
DLC
was the
schedule
big title.
sucked.
That was the big title.
Yeah, that was the big shooter. I mean, and it flopped with DLC.
Yeah.
So the moral of the story is it sucks to be a console player. Okay, good to know.
It's a rough console summer.
Yes, it is.
Very rough
Thanks,
summer
John.
for consoles. So, all right. Didn't hedge. I was dead on.
Don't worry. I'll let everybody know the next episode that when he hedges afterwards.
All right. I knew you would. All right. Let's get some clan hype. We've had a handful of new members come in. I think we're going to be seeing the recruiting efforts step up. It's going to be time to do some more recruiting as the big games start coming out. The AAA titles hit this fall. The next show will be recorded on the 15th of August. That'll be 2 weeks from now, and it'll be out probably the 16th. Go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/GrimReaperGamers. Also the forums reminder, forums.grimreapergamers.com and grimreapergamers.com for everything else. Jammer, hit me with the Twitter.
It's grgamers.com and spell out the .dot. Hey,
and don't forget, we got an email address, ReaperCast@grimreapergamers.com. And don't forget to check our Twitch and Mixer sites, twitch.tv/GrimReaperGamers and mixer.com/GrimReaperGamers for those who are streaming. That'll pick up a lot more this fall. As we
hit us up with our MySpace page.
MySpace? We don't have MySpace.
Oh, shit, we don't?
Hold
on.
Does everybody still get friend requests from Tom on MySpace?
Oh,
I never had a MySpace page.
I had one. I think that was the only friend request I ever got was the little stock one that the bot that's supposed to be the owner.
Well,
What about Player Me?
well, we know Craig never get the bot friend request.
Craig loves the bots. We know Craig loves the bots.
I'm trying to determine,
Them.
do we stretch him out this one, or see how long he takes to wrap up?
Nah, let's just thank you. Let's thank you guys for being on. Jammer, Jack, thanks for being on the show for tonight.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah, okay. Don't everybody respond at once.
I'm not forced to be here.
Want to thank everybody for listening. Remember to hit subscribe on your favorite source for our podcast, whether it's YouTube, whether it's the website, whether it's Google Play, iTunes, any other source. Check out past episodes also on those sources.
I really wish you would name every source so that way nobody misses out.
A lot of shows do that. Do you ever listen to any podcasts? They always list their sources where you can find it.
Yeah. No, because if you listen to a podcast, you know how to fucking find a podcast.
There's
and
a
I
lot
put
of
it in the
people
show
that are
notes.
So lost.
Oh.
All right. Thanks, guys. Want to say just thanks one more time. And for Jack and Jammer, this is Johnny Hustler saying, stay safe, have a good couple weeks, and never game alone.